From the local station, the morning show starts now.
It's game day. The Georgia-Florida game kicks off in T-minus 8 hours and 29 minutes, but that isn't stopping people from partying throughout the night in RV City. Whether you're a Gator or a Dog, everyone wants a bite of the fun. And some of the fans have been out there since the parking lot opened on Tuesday. People are excited.
They certainly are, and so are we as well. Traffic is going to build throughout the morning, worse than what it has been. Downtown has been buzzing the last few days with the different festivities. The fireworks went off last night after the Georgia-Florida baseball game. But I'm sure that won't be the only type of fireworks this weekend. Georgia comes in as a 3-touchdown favorite. News 4 Jax reporter Aaron Farrar is breaking down safety concerns ahead of the game. But first, meteorologist David Heckard looks at the weather. David, this is going to be perfect football weather with a slight chance for some sprinkles.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have a huge chance for rain today, but definitely cloud cover is going to be the big storyline out there. And you can see here as we're off and running on the Saturday morning, we're really getting socked in now with kind of low clouds, a little bit of fog developing here. This is our downtown camera at TI Bank Field. So you should see the skyscrapers of downtown Jacksonville. They're kind of shrouded in the cloud cover. Warm, kind of muggy start to the day out there. 67 currently out at the airport with humidity of 93%. This is a storyline today. Northeasterly winds as we continue to transport that moisture from the Atlantic right on top of our area. And we have seen some light rain showers on Exact Track 4D. In fact, down towards the Nocatee area and into sections of Palm Valley, that's where we are now beginning to see some activity. And this action is going to continue to kind of work its way off towards the west here. In fact, let's zoom in even tighter and you can see those showers developing. Again, this is just to the north of the Nocatee area there, very close to Palm Valley. So you live right along 9B there towards E-Town, you may run into a light rain shower, and you can see even more activity kind of lurking back here into parts of the Atlantic. Again, not a high rain chance today, but we are going to see, I think, some activity. I would recommend the poncho if you are going to head out to the game later today. Temperatures in the metro, again, warm start, 60s and 70s. We're 72 out at Jax Beach, 70 in Arlington. Other numbers across the region in the 60s and 70s. Brunswick, the cool spot at 62, 63 right now in Lake City. Again, some low clouds and fog out there. I don't think it's widespread, but do kind of give yourself a little bit of extra distance if you're getting ready to travel into Jacksonville for the big game. You see the west side down to 2.5-mile visibility, and there's a little bit of fog as well out towards sections of the I-75 corridor just to the west of Lake City. So a lot of cloud cover today. Not a high rain chance, though. In fact, the rain chance is going to top out at around 30%. Temperatures today leveling off, it looks like, in the low 70s. We'll be back taking a more in-depth look when the sunshine will return coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, thank you so much, David. Well, as we know, large crowds are expected to start packing out and around the stadium this morning.
They certainly are, and it's expected to be a rowdy crowd with fans excited to renew that good old-fashioned rivalry. So News 4 Jax reporter Aaron Farrar is live outside the bank this morning. And Aaron, police want everyone to have fun, but also stay safe.
There's going to be a large police presence here. We already see a couple of officers set up shop at Lot J. That's going to be the entrance right here because drivers are going to be allowed to start getting into different parking lots around the stadium around 8 o'clock this morning, so a little less than 2 hours away from that. But you see a lot of the cones set up. Those are being used as placeholders for now. But then a lot of these are also going to be out in the surrounding streets to help as a barrier and a guide for drivers who are going to be trying to get into those reserved parking lots that are around this area. There will be officers both in their cars walking around this area, some on golf carts, some on bikes as well, to make sure everybody is okay and that there's not anything that's going on that they need to pay attention to and stop from happening at that point. You can see the setup of both here at the stadium and over at RV City from all throughout the week. There will also be about 16 different safety stations, or what's being called safe zones. People will be able to stop at those areas to get any help that they may need, whether that's just to get information about the game or where they are, first aid, if you need police for any reason, or even to charge your phone. JSL Police Public Information Officer Christian Hancock says people should have fun, but also be vigilant throughout today.
Historically, I've worked this game. This is my 24th year working this game. Historically, there's as many people roaming around outside the game during the game than there is inside. So again, we expect a lot of people. A lot show up, a lot of Florida fans, a lot of a lot of Georgia fans. And that's what they come for. They come for the atmosphere. Whether they have a ticket or not, they're coming down to have a great time, and we want them to have a great time. But again, we want them to have a safe time.
And because of these big crowds, there's going to be a lot of traffic expected in this area. Even though the parking lots don't open to those who are driving and have their vehicles in this lot until 8 o'clock, we've already seen a couple of different fraternities from the University of Florida who are here claiming their spot in person, waiting for their vehicle to be allowed in here. You see they have a lot of cones set up as well here as well, and they are excited already. You see that there's a lot of excitement at 6:05 this morning as they're ready for kickoff at 3:30. Again, the game does start at 3:30 at TIAA Bank Field. The gates to get into the stadium open at 1:30 this afternoon. But the big thing, of course, this group has already beat everyone to it, but you are encouraged to get here about 5 hours before kickoff just because of how much activity is expected to be in this area and the traffic concerns as well. So again, if the kickoff is at 3:30, the expectation or suggestion is to get here to the stadium around 10:30 this morning. We'll be back out here live again in about an hour. For now, reporting live, I'm Aaron Farrar, Channel 4, the local station. Here's Ashley with a look at traffic.
All right, thank you so much, Aaron. Just one thing we want to mention real quick before we get into Georgia, Florida traffic is the two far left lanes on south side and northbound are blocked. There is an accident there. This is at Belle Reve Boulevard. Thankfully, it's not impacting the flow of traffic. We're still looking at a whole lot of green there, so that is a lucky start right now. But let's face it, we're here to talk about Georgia, Florida game day traffic. The Gator Bowl Boulevard ramps are now open. That is a huge thing. That's going to be your best bet. Also, Gator Bowl Boulevard to Overhead Hart Expressway ramps. That will mean a much easier commute for you. So good way to plan ahead. That is a great option. And again, Gator Bowl Boulevard is now a 4-lane divided highway with access to Lot J. So if you're coming from that direction, this is a good option for you to take. And again, looking at closures too, that's something to plan around as well. A. Philip Randolph Boulevard from Gator Bowl Boulevard to Duval Street is closed, so you will need to plan ahead for that. If you don't feel like driving, you want to take a shuttle. The Game Day Express shuttles begin at 12:30 p.m. Whoops, it went away from me there, but that is an option too as well. Now, if you are closer to the stadium, you don't want to fight the traffic, you can hop on the River Taxi. The St. John's River Taxi is a few stops along the way to get you to the game. A round-trip ticket will cost you $20. It's going to stop at the South Bank Hotel, the DoubleTree, and Hyatt before the game. However, after, there will only be one stop on the South Bank at the hotel. On the North Bank, the only stop will be near the Hyatt. The River Taxi will run 4 hours prior to the game, so great option there.
Now, if you're looking for other ways to head to the game, like let's say taking a scooter, you will have to take a test before getting on one when heading downtown. Now, the company behind the popular motorized two-wheeler wants to make sure everyone arrives alive. Now, here's what you will see on your phone when you log in to rent a scooter. The new feature includes a reaction test through a series of interactive exercises. An image of a helmet will appear on the screen. You will have to tap on it, whatever the color changes. Now, if you pass the test, the app will allow you to climb onto the scooter. However, if you fail it, it will recommend you not to get on. The idea is to limit people from riding under the influence. Now, here is a look at a dedicated fan. Now, this photo was sent to us by Little Betty. You can see the entire patio is decked out in Gators colors. So clearly, you know who they're rooting for, right? I mean, it looks pretty awesome there.
Looks great. She did a good job.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to know how you plan, well, we want to know actually how you plan on celebrating the big game. Take a photo or video of your football party and send it to us on Snapchat. Just head to the community events tab and include a little description. You may just see it during our coverage throughout the day. We also want to know who you think is going to win today's game. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh my gosh, I'm not going to go there. No, I don't want to be on the chopping block as this could be quite interesting. But head to news4jax.com/USA and cast your vote now. We will announce the result during the 9 o'clock hour of the morning show. Good luck to both teams as always. Well, the early voting polls will open in a few hours in Union and Columbia counties. These are the last two counties in Northeast Florida to start early voting. In Columbia County, voters will decide on a half-cent sales tax for schools. It'll pay for the purchase, construction, renovation, and improvement of the public and charter schools. So this will include safety and security improvements as well as updated technology equipment. In Union County, voters will decide on the District 4 race for county commissioner. To take a look at the candidates running and their views, head over to news4jax.com/voters guide. There you can see all the races along with the state constitutional amendments that are up for a vote.
In Putnam County, a convicted murderer will have one final chance in December to avoid the death penalty. A jury unanimously voted to send Mark Wilson to death for killing 2 young brothers in 2020. News4JAX reporter Janice Harris takes us into the courtroom. She says the decision was made less than an hour after deliberations.
Mr. Wilson and counsel, please stand.
After less than an hour of deliberation, a jury recommended 12-0 for Mark Wilson Jr. to get the death penalty for killing 2 boys. This gruesome story began in 2020. 14-year-old Tayton Baker and his younger brother, 12-year-old Robert Baker, their bodies were found by their mother when she woke up. The Putnam County Sheriff's Office said Wilson killed the boys using a hammer and a knife. Wilson had been in prison twice, facing charges including drug possession, car theft, burglary, and dealing in stolen property, but nothing this brutal and violent. Fast forward to the trial. During the guilt phase, the jury found Wilson guilty of murdering the 2 boys. This week, during the penalty phase, the jury made their decision on a recommendation of death.
We, the jury, also unanimously found the aggravating factor or factors are sufficient to warrant a possible death sentence of death. Yes.
After the jury recommended the death penalty, State Attorney R.J. Larissa for the 7th District Circuit Court said in a statement, "Welcome to the 7th Circuit, where making justice a reality is our sworn and solemn duty. Our heart goes out to the victim's family. It's in the judge's hands now." Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.
Exactly 1 month ago, Hurricane Ian was barreling through the state, bringing strong winds and rain. We were on the air with you that day as counties along the coast were hit. Now those in Duval County can apply for FEMA public assistance. If approved, public facilities will get help removing debris and repairing or replacing disaster damage. To apply, head to FEMA's website. Florida Fish and Wildlife says it is still going through the thousands of boats and cars displaced during that storm. This is a scene in Lee County where 15-foot storm surges sent boats hurling across mobile home parks and streets. Officials say they have assessed about 2,100 of the vessels. The process includes locating the boats and returning them to their owners. A new study shows over a third of new Floridians polled now regret moving to the Sunshine State. A Texas company surveyed 302 people who have moved here in the last 4 years. 84% of them experienced some type of home damage from the hurricane. The study also revealed 55% of those who did not evacuate regret it. 38% regret moving to Florida altogether. However, 29% say the storm made them feel like a true Floridian.
Taking back expired and unused drugs, the event raises awareness of the dangers of opioid misuse.
This is such an important issue. A look at the places locally you can drop off your medication. And FHP responded to 3 separate school bus accidents on Friday.
The pilot program that could help prevent some of these accidents from happening.